Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be comparing Replit Agent versus Replit Assistant. We're going to be talking about some of the differences and similarities, as well as some of the costs associated with both of them and how you can use them both to, number one, build your ideal software or website, but number two, do it within the budget that you intend to do. Now, before we jump in, I would like to ask you a favor. I would like to ask you to please consider liking this video in the like button below and also consider subscribing to my channel. Liking this video helps me reach more people out there. The more likes I get, the more reach this video gets as the algorithm perceives it as to be a good video. And by subscribing, you are allowing me to gain your trust and confidence, but also tell others that this channel is worth watching. That being said, we're going to jump in and explore some of the similarities and differences between these two AI systems within Replit. So for the last few days, I have been building a CRM software, and this is just part of the continuation of what I'm doing, trying to build the same CRM software across different AI coding tools. So I'm building this in Replit Agent, Lovable, SoftGen, Bolt, and Tempo Labs, among others, and trying to compare exactly what they would look like. I'm using the same prompts, the same specifications, just different systems, and seeing which one costs more or less, and which one gives me the best final product, and which one allow me to extend the limits of the AI to hopefully accomplish more. I will give you a quick guide walkthrough of what we're doing, because hopefully this will make a little bit more sense as we're going into the Replit Agent and Replit Assistant explanation. So I got a dashboard, I got a grid view and a list view for contacts. I got a way to see the profiles for each one of these individuals. I got companies that include the company name with their logo, industry, website, created by, and some actions. And these companies have their own profile page that include the employees, affiliate programs, and activity. We get a monetization screen where we see the overview of what I have made, the affiliate programs that I have signed up for, sponsorships, products at the moment, and all of these get funneled into these widgets, easy to see, easy to understand for the users. We also have an integrations page that will allow users to integrate their favorite third-party software that we have created integrations for. Right now is only Firecrawl. Yep. And as you can see, we have a way to know whether the integration is working correctly, a short explanation of what it does, a way to configure the API keys and get them saved securely in the database, an indicator of whether it's connected or no, and a link to our documentation. And lastly, we have a settings page in which we just add the user's first name, last name, and profile image, security, change the password, notification setting, and a way to delete the account. That's what we have done so far. Now, I'm going to go back to Replit because I want to show you these two systems. So number one, you got the agent. So the agent is what is going to build the most of your features. So you give some specifications to the agent, and the agent will take it from there and will run with it. It will develop the feature and it will go until the feature is fully built and error-free. Now, on the flip side, you got the assistant. The assistant is more for basic tasks. So if I were to compare them, the agent is a senior developer that can take the intent of the customer or their boss and run with it and develop a feature, versus the assistant is a junior developer. So they can do more simple stuff. Now, within the assistant, we got two different models. We got the advanced model and we got the basic model. So the advanced model is what I typically use to make changes to the website. And then the basic model, I just use it to ask questions and get a better idea of where we are and where we need to be, or ask general questions. Now, let's talk about pricing. So for the agent, it's going to cost 50 cents for every checkpoint it creates. If you, I'm sorry, 25 cents for every checkpoint it creates. It used to be 50 cents or something. Now, the way you know that a checkpoint has been created is because what you task the agent to do, it did it and it's error-free. And at that point, it creates a checkpoint. So as you can see up here, I have been using the agent for quite a bit in the last couple of days, and I have spent $9.75. With that being said, you can go about it one of two ways. Number one, you can give specific instructions to the agents, or it can be vague and you take it from there. I rather do specific instructions because I want the agent to perform the way that I want it to perform. Or you can take one of the suggestions. So based on what you have built so far, the agent will suggest you features that you can build or future iterations. Every single time that it completes a checkpoint, it's going to do this for you. Sometimes they're great ideas that I haven't thought of, and I just do it. Sometimes I don't think that they're the best ideas, and I just don't do it. And I will run through some of these and show you how you can perhaps take advantage of these if they make sense for you. Now, again, the agent costs 25 cents per iteration or for every checkpoints that it creates. Now, on the flip side, you have the assistant. I mentioned that within the assistant, you have two different models. You get the advanced models. It costs 5 cents for every time you run it. And basically what it does is it look up what you asked it to do. It will generate the code, make the changes. Again, simple changes. We're not looking at these to build full-blown features. And it will suggest changes. And you can either preview them or apply them. And at that point, you get charged 5 cents. The basic model is powered by Gemini and 1.5 Flash, and that's more to ask questions. It's not really good at coding. So I stay away from tasking Gemini with doing some coding changes, but it's free. This is a free model. You can ask as many questions as you want, and you're not going to get charged. You might be wondering, where do I get charged? And this might look to you that is a little bit expensive. So for Replit, it's a little bit different than most other models. So for Bolt, you're going to get tokens. For Lovable, you're going to get messages. With Replit, what you get is a certain amount of credits in dollars, and you can use that for about anything. So I'm going to bring up here the Replit side. So you can use those for, let me go out. So you can use those for hosting. You can use those for the database, because the database is integrated within Replit. So you don't have to pay Supabase additional. You can use it for basically anything that they offer, including the agent and that's weird. Including the agent and the assistant. So you get $25 per month, or you only pay $15 per month if you're billed annually. And if you're paying monthly, then you can bill $25 and you get $25 in credits back and you get access to everything. So to me, the yearly deal is a much better option. So close this. And now let's do some demos. Let me show you what I've been talking about, and hopefully everything will make sense and you can see the value in it on each. So if you are a Replit user, so hopefully this will clear things. We're going to start with the assistant, and within the assistant, I'm going to start by asking a question to the basic model. So I will click on basic and I will ask does Replit Agent support React components. We're going to send it and we're going to get an answer back from the assistant that will answer that question that we have. So we are waiting for the AI to answer our question. So yes, Replit support React components. You can create, import, and use React components just like you will in any standard Replit application, given that they are already working on a React project. You can easily define and use component within your code base. For example, you have the draft, says to continue. And the basic is not the best. I mean, it's a free AI agent, so it's definitely not the best. But so let's see. Okay, so we got the rest of the question. So given that you're already working on a React project, you can easily define and use the component within your code base. For example, you already have the Sparkle Core component in your project, which is being used in the integrations file. If you want to create new components, here's a quick template for, and it gives me the template. So that's a way that you can use the basic assistant within. All right, so here it gave me some more within Replit. So we're going to go to the web view. We're going to log in and we're going to start making some changes. So now we're going to go to the advanced 5 cents per request. So on the thing, we will need to give it a moment to get back and track. So the advanced version, we're going to add the prompt. So on the dashboard page, make the buttons at the top being responsive and ensure the icons and text inside the buttons fit inside the buttons elements. Also, we arrange them into rows as needed. So basically, we are trying to fix this because if you look at it on a bigger screen, they but if you look at them, so yeah, they look okay here. But when you look at them on this smaller screen on the side, they are not looking correctly. So I will imagine that on a desktop, on a tablet or a phone, they will not. So we're going to apply these changes and we're going to see the magic happen. So it's making the changes and we got reloaded, locked out. Okay, so on the smaller screens, the buttons on the dashboard page should be in 2 rows. First row should be contact, log, call, and log email buttons, and they remain there. Buttons on the second row. Sometimes I need to do this twice. Perhaps I'm not explaining myself really well. And I'm just trying to do simple prompts so we can keep moving. I don't want to keep you here watching me write a super long prompt trying to explain exactly how this should behave, but I'm trying to get my point across. So it's working. And I notice here also I gave 2 different set of instructions. You need to be specific and only one task at a time. If not, it gets lost. So now is creating the change. And hopefully we get this back soon. All right, it's pushing the update. All right, it's not working correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the agent. Sometimes it happens. I have to go from the assistant back to the agent because it's not making the changes. Or we'll get other examples here in a moment. It can be frustrating at times. It's pretty good at solving errors for the most part, as well whenever the agent doesn't catch them. So, but we should not be running into any errors here. So for the agent portion, we're going to be, this is probably an overkill for what we're trying to do, but the agent will be creating this feature. And the agent takes a while. The agents sometimes take 2 to 3 minutes in order to develop the feature that you want and being able to create exactly what it needs error-free. So it will take us a moment. While it's doing that, I will point out that we have the database here to the side, and it can also be accessed here. And the database will allow you to get all the features that you will otherwise get with Supabase. It just is under one umbrella. All right, so the feature has been built. Let's take a look at it. And voila, it's being created. Let's look at design. Okay, so let's go back to the assistant. Hopefully this time doesn't embarrass me again. So on the settings page, add padding to the left and right side of the screen. We're going to log back in while it's working so I can show you what we're doing. So we go back. There's no padding on the left or the right. We're going to add some padding. And sometimes Assistant is hit and miss when trying to make bigger changes. So it's not going to be your main source to be reliable. But I know they're improving this model, and hopefully in the near future, we can have something that is much better with advanced models. So we don't have to spend a lot of money in the agent. So now And you can either preview the changes, we're going to apply them. And as you can see, there is padding now to the left and the right. And it's applying the changes in the code base. And you should be able to see it remove one line of code, and it added one line of code, it removed one. And you can see all these changes here. Oh, no changes to show. Let me find another one. Okay, so here is the original one. This is the new one. And then you can go and compare the code base. So, but we're not going to do that. Now, on to the agents. So the agent, it provides some, so it asks you if the feature is good to go, if it's working properly aligned, whatever. So if it looks good, I can start working on a new feature. So it offers 5 different features. Suggestions, responsive dashboard, quick action button tooltip, AI-powered contact integration suggestion system, drag and drop contact organization feature, micro animation for smoother UI interactions, and quick contact search with fuzzy mashing. I think I would go with that last one because let's see. So sorry. Hi, so we already got that. Let's see. So for monetization, actually, there is one thing I would like to show you with the agent. So let me get everything there. All right, so to display the capabilities of the agent, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this prompt, and we're going to talk about it in a moment. But before we get out of this little pop-up, basically, I'm going to provide the API docs for the integration that we're going to build, and we're going to click on copy paste content, and that will give context on the instructions on how it should be done. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm going to add a Clay integration. What the Clay integration needs to do is every time a company is added, the Clay API gets queried and can reach the company data. So we're going to bring back data as needed. We might have to go through these like 2 or 3 times to make sure that it's spelled correctly. We will see, but all data returned from the Clay API get presented to the user, and the user and the user will map that data to be safe in the database. And for context, Clay is a data enrichment platform. Clay.com, right? Yep. It's a data enrichment platform that allow you to get data from over 100 data providers that you can add to your data and get a little bit more information. So here's what it looked like: is a database, but they also have an API, so it's kind of like a CRM kind of thing. But we're going to use it to enrich our data through their API. So we're going to send this, and we're going to click on progress. Let's scroll down to the latest. We're going to leave it here, and we're going to be looking at both the left and the right column. And I'm going to be talking about what we're seeing. So right now it's determining the next steps that it's going to take in order to approach this problem that I just presented to it and take in consideration the documentation from Clay. It's considering the options. And as you can see right now, the agent is thinking, so it's determining the next steps. And sometimes it takes a while to come up with a solution, but there's nothing to worry about. That's just part of the process. Uh, and he's actually really good at it. So he's determining the next steps again. So let's give it a moment. Let's take a look at some of the. So we had social media integration for contact sharing as one of the features he provided before. Gamified achievement system for revenue milestones, predictive AI revenue forecasting, collaborative note taking for client interactions. Okay. I still thinking. So smart revenue optimization suggestion using AI gamified achievement system for revenue milestones, real-time collaboration annotation for revenue tracking, export and share personalized revenue performance report. Think that would be cool. I think I'm going to build this feature, export and share personalized revenues performance reports. And this could be along the lines of something that is worth sharing on social media. So I can probably connect Stripe so users can actually get their data in there. So it's working. I will help you implement the Clay API integration for data enrichment. First, I will need to add Clay API configuration to the integrations page and then implement the data enrichment logic. So it's asking me for my API key, which I'm going to pass. And we're going to hit continue. Now it's going to ask me whether or not I want to add these to my account secrets. Basically, these are API keys that I can use later on. We're going to add it. We need your Clay API key. You will know this key will security store and use to page to the companies. Okay. So as you can see here on the right, it's telling me exactly what it's doing. It's showing me the code. Then we restarted the workflow. And then it's telling me the user wants to implement Clay integration for data enrichment. I have already, and it tells me what it did and what it's doing next. And then we're scrolling down. Now I need to create a config file to manage environment variables safely. So here on the left, it's telling me I will continue implementing the Clay API integration for company data enrichment. I will now update the server routes to handle API configuration in data enrichment. So, and as you can see, here on the left, is going to do both at the same time. The Clay API key, Clay and Firecrawl will trigger at the same time. Firecrawl is doing something completely different. So it's fetching, it's getting screenshots. But as you can see, we prompted 5 minutes ago and it's still working on it. So it's taking much longer than, we're going to scroll down. It's taking much longer than the assistant, but now it's done and we should have something usable. Right. So we're going to sign in, going to go to companies. at a company, and the company will be Shopify, https forward slash Shopify.com. We're going to add that company. And now it's creating, it's taking a little bit. Perhaps I can use some kind of animation telling the system that, well, telling the user that the system is working. But and that's something that I can create with the assistant later on. It's taking its time. So it's being created. Now it didn't provide me a way for me to get all the data. I'm going to go back to Clay. We're going to go to my account and see if there are any credits that have been used. Okay, so one credit has been used, 999 out of 1,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back on Replit, and it's telling me that I can create more features. Smooth loading animation for the enrichment. We will need to use that. Contextual tooltips for dashboard, hands error handling, implement responsive buttons. But we want to do the Clay API data enrichment preview and mapping interface. That's part of what we needed to do. And this was done by Firecrawl. Hopefully I can get rid of Firecrawl and use Clay if it helps me get the logo in. Review and map before saving it to the database. Yeah. So let's work through this. And I will make a separate video about how to integrate some of these tools into Replit agents. Hopefully that will give you a better idea of exactly how you can get it done. So he's making changes to the preview. Okay. All right, it should be done now. So we're going to log back in. We're going to go to companies, add a company, HubSpot, HTTPS, hotspot.com. Is creating right now. And then we should get some kind of pop-up or something to map the data and add it to the database. We will see. It didn't. Let's look at the console. Okay, so there was an error. Let's look at the web view. Company, HubSpot. Let's go to the assistant. I get this error. Fix it. And we're going to have the assistant look at the error, fix it, because if we go through the agent, we're going to get charged for the agent fee, which is 25 cents rather than 5 cents. And if we can fix it with the system, we will. How is doing that? Real-time collaboration markers. Click export of enriched data, action message effects. Mhm. So it is working right now. Mm, okay. Remove from the main before currently handle errors not gracefully without company creation. How we're going to apply these changes, and a checkpoint has been made. So let's see. We're going to add another company. This time it's going to be Facebook, HTTP, yes, dash meta.com. All right, so there's no data enrichment. Yep, no data enrichment. All right, so since that is not working, we're going to try abstract. And that's going to be in the agent. It's going to be the page content. We're going to go back. Abstract to change the variable for all of these. And one of the main reasons why we're going to go with abstract is because I want to go through this relatively fast. So save this. And we will need to get that API. All right, so we're in abstract. So the primary key, we're going to add it in here. And we're going to continue, add to account secrets. I will change these keys later on anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So the application has been restarted, and we're going to, I say we'll continue implementing the abstract API integration. I will add the abstract integration card to the integrations page and update the backend to support it. So we're going to let it run its course. Right now it's determining the next steps. And so we're going to go to progress. We started the workflow, update the config file, okay. And all of these are going to be fixed one way or the other. So I'm not worried about it. Now, if while the agent is working, you were to need to pause it because of an error, because you forgot something, or because you changed your mind, you can just pause it here and it will stop right where you hit pause. So I will update the integration page to the Abstract API integration card alongside Clay and Firecrawl. We will also update this server routes to handle the Abstract API configuration and verification. Okay, so I added the card. Let's take a screenshot. All right, let's see what we get. So we're going to go to companies. We're going to scroll down and we're going to delete Shopify and we're going to re-add it. HTTPS file. Go. Hmm. Okay, so file crawl is working. So let's look in abstract to see if we have used any credit. So you have used 0. Go back, play. Let's go to my settings. Oh, it's plan bin. So I didn't use any now. Oh, the personal API, operation, recommendation. So we're going to add the interactive API data preview for play. And I know this is taking a little longer than expected. With these AI systems, sometimes it does take a little longer than you would expect. If we don't get it on this one, I will make a dedicated video on how to integrate Clay and Abstract and some other APIs into Replit agents. So probably prepare a little bit better, and hopefully we can get that good to go, ready to roll. Needless to say, I am really happy with Replit so far. He has created what I want. Yeah, like I have been having to do some workarounds to make sure that we get things working correctly, but I think that's most AI agents out there. Overall, Replit is a really good AI coding tool. So let's go to integrations and see how it's adding it. I have a different idea for these. All right, so Clay is not working correctly. It was last checked just now. But Abstract it is. So okay. All right. I will make dedicated videos for these because I don't want to take your time. So there will be a dedicated video on how to integrate Clay into an API, into a Replit agent using their API, and how to integrate Abstract as well, the Abstract. And with this, we made it to the end of yet another video. I want to say thank you for watching until the end. If you're still watching, you probably like this video, so I will ask that you please consider hitting the like button down below. It really helps me a lot. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing. I really, really hope that you are back for some other videos. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know down in the comments below as I take those and turn them into videos for the most part. This is the end. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.